Welcome to Relation Tales. Please like this video and subscribe Relation Tales. Hi, I'm Luciano Rosti. I've been happily married to Lily for 15 years, and we have two amazing teenage daughters who love me a lot. I'm confident and don't tolerate nonsense, but I always treat Lily with great tenderness and respect. I support her ambitions, but believe some limits are necessary. I'm tall, standing at 1.85 meters, a trait I inherited from my father. I weigh 265 pounds and have a muscular build, but I'm gentle unless provoked. Lily has seen this gentle side of me when we face threats during walks. Lily is beautiful, with a graceful figure, long legs, a slim waist, and a lovely face. Men often admire her, which annoys me because I tend to get jealous. I've tried to control my anger over the years, but it's been challenging. I'll share a story about one of the two times in our 15-year relationship when Lily witnessed my jealousy. She knows this side of me well. In both cases, when we were walking, several annoying personalities insisted that Lily join them in the dance, but she had already refused their invitation, explaining that she was coming with me. Ignoring her refusal, they rudely disregarded her desire and forcibly dragged her from a chair that stood a few centimeters from my chair. Perhaps they hoped that their intimidating appearance would scare away any resistance from me, and they would be able to take my wife without difficulty. But they miscalculated badly. It all happened during a pleasant conversation about our beloved daughters, when we enjoyed communicating with each other. In shock and bewilderment, I watched as this man brazenly grabbed her by the hand and forcibly led her out of a cozy armchair. I quickly got up from my seat, putting myself between him and my wife, even before he stepped onto the dance floor. With a quick movement, I dislocated his shoulder and quickly directed him back to our table, where he was writhing in agony. Lily and I wasted no time leaving the scene. As I have already said, I do not tolerate disrespectful attitude towards myself from anyone, and my main problem is to cope with my jealousy. In this situation, the question arises, why, knowing my essence, did she allow this to happen? Despite my growing suspicions, my love for her remained unchanged. Numerous unusual things began to happen that did not exist in our 15-year marriage, which made my intuition stir with the arrival of a new boss at work. Her wardrobe and appearance have noticeably changed. Our intimate life suddenly changed for the better. She began to show initiative, which she had never shown before. Text messages arriving late at night and increasingly frequent late-night meetings at work became more frequent, which caused me to feel anxious despite all her plausible explanations. My inherent jealousy did not give me peace. I made it clear to the private detective firm that I didn't want to know any details until the investigation was completed. Deep down, I hoped that my suspicions were groundless, and I didn't want our relationship to change. Finally, after 3 long months, I received a folder with terrible news. With a heavy heart, I began to study the contents of the folder. Videos, audio recordings, photos. After that, I notified my lawyer, Mac, to start processing the divorce papers and ensure that they are completed by Wednesday afternoon. I came up with a smart plan to catch them off guard during their Thursday evening walk since they didn't notice I was in the city. I had something unusual planned for this couple, but I was amazed at Lily's boldness. She, more than anyone, should understand my sharp instincts, strong determination, and ability to take relentless action. She has seen me work hard to succeed, and how ruthlessly I handled competitors when taking over the company. Now, I own a big trucking company and have earned the trust and admiration of truckers and foremen due to my honest treatment of them. I am confident they will support me if needed. In my relationship with Lily, I make every effort to provide her with everything she wants and treat her with deep respect, as if she were royalty. She recognizes and appreciates this, often boasting to her friends and family about my exceptional care and affection. But lately, I can't stop wondering why she would risk everything she holds dear for a short affair. Why would she jeopardize our relationship for a fling with her boss? These questions constantly haunt me. Lily has consistently proven herself to be a devoted mother and caring spouse, which makes understanding this situation even more confusing. Our intimate life was bright and satisfying, but it probably lacked something important. Despite combining household chores and a stressful full-time job as an executive assistant at a local technology company, she unexpectedly started an extramarital affair, something I never thought she was capable of. Fast forward to Thursday, to our scheduled date where I've planned everything carefully. I turned to a contractor for help who was supposed to help me, ensuring that the folder would be transferred unnoticed at the right moment. Arriving earlier than the appointed time, I generously tipped the hostess, politely asking for a secluded table for the two of them. My resourceful wife remained in the dark, thinking that I had gone on a business trip. Listening to the audio recording, I caught a conversation in which she informed her boss that she was free on Thursday evening and ready to meet. He excitedly agreed and took care of all the arrangements for the meeting. The agency of private detectives provided me with software that was installed on Lily's phone and allowed me to access her text messages and emails. In addition, this program allowed you to record audio recordings and upload them to a secure server. On Monday, I saw his text message indicating the time when he would pick her up. When I read the message that he had booked a table in a restaurant and asked my future ex-wife to dress provocatively for his, I was overwhelmed by a wave of anger. The insolence of this man, who came to our house and took her away, further fueled my rage. Deciding to confront both of them, I developed a simple plan. I will patiently wait until they calm down and drink first, and only then I will appear. It is at this moment that my carefully rehearsed speech will begin, which will eventually lead to a restrained warning and unexpected delivery of divorce documents. As my anger and thirst for revenge intensified, I felt them engulf me. Deep down, I knew Lily's love for me and our children would keep her from wanting a divorce, but I couldn't ignore that my actions would shatter her and change her life forever. Despite knowing this, I didn't care at that moment. I wanted her to feel the same pain she caused me. Some might say I should forgive and move on for the sake of our kids and our 15-year marriage. But I couldn't do that. It's important to mention that I have a jealous streak and see myself as an alpha male. The idea of another man being with my wife was unacceptable to me because I wanted her to be completely devoted to me. Even though I love her, realizing this hurt me deeply because it meant our relationship would never be the same. To prepare for this tough situation, I used surveillance systems and waited for the right moment to get the information I needed. This evening, Thursday, I received a signal indicating that the couple had taken their seats and were enjoying drinks. Walking towards them, I was preparing for a fight. Getting out of the car, I entered the restaurant and exchanged a brief smile with the manager. Suppressing my anger, I took a deep breath and decided to carry out my plan. The couple was already sitting at the table, but I was struck by the sight of my wife in a revealing cocktail dress that accentuated her generous cleavage. This infuriated me, especially since she had never dressed so provocatively for me before. Confusion and frustration overwhelmed me as I tried to make sense of her actions. Why would she want to bring me to this state? It seemed that she was trying to impress her lover that evening, which only increased my disappointment. I cautiously approached their table without attracting their attention, as they were completely absorbed in each other's company. It was a very touching sight. But it wasn't until I casually pulled a chair up to them from the next table that they finally realized I was here. Lily's expression defied description. There was a mixture of surprise, anxiety, and remorse in it, which I had never seen before. Her companion was completely unaware of the circumstances and did not understand that I was her husband. He just looked at me with annoyance on his face, and now the situation has begun. "Hi, Lily? Are you having a good time on a date?" I asked, smiling broadly. "Oh, hello. What brings you here?" "I thought you wouldn't be here today," she replied. "My boss, Jeremy, invited me to dinner to discuss some changes in the organization." "Why don't you join us?" she suggested. In a serene and loving tone, she introduced, "Jeremy, this is my husband, Luciano." I couldn't help but admire her grace. She showed amazing self-control and agility. As soon as I approached the table, the drink I had ordered earlier was brought. Ignoring Lily's lying words, I confidently raised my glass for a toast. I replied with a friendly smile and suggested, "Let's raise our glasses to an interesting evening and the prospects of new beginnings." After making a toast, I smiled and turned to Lily's boss. Jeremy, do you know the secret to our happy 15-year marriage?" I asked. "It's trust and honesty." Then I directly asked him, "Are you married?" Already knowing the answer from my research, he confirmed, "Yes, I've been married for 20 years and have 4 wonderful children aged 5 to 13. "I completely agree that trust and honesty are vital in marriage," he added. "Pleased," I turned to Lily and asked, "Do you share this opinion?" She replied confidently, "Yes, my dear, trust and honesty are certainly important in our marriage." She seemed composed, having no reason to feel guilty or anxious after mentioning their business dinner. I continued, "You see, Jeremy, our marriage is strong. Lily knows how deeply I love her and what I am willing to do to ensure she remains faithful." As I took another sip from my glass, I noticed both of them becoming uneasy, but I continued. "So, how long have you been together?" I asked, grinning broadly. Lily looked visibly worried, trying to regain control with a defensive tone. "Dear, let's remember that this is a business meeting and your behavior puts my boss in an awkward position. please try to restrain your jealousy. You know me well enough to know that I would never do anything inappropriate." In response to Lily's words, her companion saw an opportunity to assert his superiority. "Luciano, let me make it clear that this dinner is purely of a business nature. I needed to discuss some upcoming changes, which is why I met with Lily today. I apologize if there was any misunderstanding. My friend, I would never cross professional boundaries, especially with a married woman." I tried my best to convey my apologies by replying, "Oh, I'm sorry. So you're saying that you've never asked my wife out on a date, and this dinner is purely businesslike. Is that so, Luciano?" He assured me, "You're absolutely right. There's nothing romantic between us." Looking for confirmation, I turned to Lily and asked, "Lily, can you confirm that? Is it really just a business meeting and nothing ever happened between you?" It was the moment that will determine our future, the choice between truth and deception. Deep down, I already knew what she would say even before she uttered a word. She answered confidently, "Dear, I assure you, these meetings are strictly professional. I would never enter into a relationship with another man, especially with my boss. Please refrain from such immature behavior." "I'm sorry, Jeremy. My husband is sometimes possessive, but he knows about my deep love for him." I humbly bowed my head, taking a submissive pose, and expressed my remorse. "Please forgive me. I must admit that I can be jealous. It is quite understandable why I can feel such feelings when I see you in this seductive dress, accompanied by this attractive man." Jeremy patted me affectionately on the back. I breathed a sigh of relief, pretending that I was mistaken. "Luciano, there's no need to apologize. If my wife looked as gorgeous as yours and was on a date with a stranger, I can't say that I would also know how to react." To ease the tension, I quietly invited the man watching us from the bar to come over. He approached our table, handed me a bulky folder, and quickly left. Everyone watched him, and Lily and Jeremy exchanged curious glances. Preparing to reveal the first photo, I looked at Lily and spoke tenderly but sadly. "Lily, it hurts me to admit that I once loved you with all my heart and was ready to give you everything. Unfortunately, you chose to reject this love, ignoring the many years we've spent together. The wounds you've inflicted on me are deep, and the memories of those videos and the hurtful words you said will haunt me forever. I have no choice but to bear this pain for the rest of my life. For that, I express my gratitude to you." The first photo showed Lily and Jeremy in a compromising pose. The next picture captured Jeremy holding Lily in an inappropriate hug. In addition, they were depicted in various candid poses in numerous photographs. From the shock, Lily could not restrain herself and gasped, quickly covering her mouth with her hands, and demanded an explanation about the origin of these photos. In response, I calmly told him to be silent. After taking some time to analyze the photos, I carefully examined each of them from time to time, giving comments. "Lily, you look incredibly adorable with this in your mouth. And Jeremy seems quite happy with this photo, as if you're enjoying my wife's company." Lily's tears were streaming uncontrollably down her face. She begged me to stop. Realizing that the attention from other visitors is growing, I tried to lower my voice, not wanting to disturb the peace of the restaurant. Lily, realizing the seriousness of the situation, saw only one way out. "I offer my deepest apologies. My love, maybe we can get out of here and discuss what happened. Everything is not as it seems." I looked at her with a hint of amusement on my face and asked the question, "Are you going to go down this path, the way of deception?" But let me cut in before you go on. It's important for both of you to understand that I have a huge collection of evidence. Hours of videos, audio clips, text messages, emails, and photos. Lily, I must admit that after watching these videos, I was completely unaware of the side of you that is capable of such actions. You've never revealed this side of yourself to me, and it's very upsetting. Over the past 3 months, I have invested a lot of money in obtaining this information, and I want to assure you that it was obtained legally. Therefore, you can be sure that I am completely in control of the situation. Having carefully put the documents in a folder, I began to explain the purpose of my presence and the events that will take place tonight. Handing Lily the divorce papers, I said softly, "Lily, our relationship has come to an end. The consequences of your affair with your boyfriend have caused irreparable damage to our marriage and my feelings for you. The pain you caused me is unlike anything I've ever experienced, and I've made the decision not to be with you anymore. I kindly ask you to sign this document tonight. My colleague at the bar is a notary who will be present at the signing. If you don't sign the document tonight, I will be forced to disclose all the video and audio recordings to your parents, our friends, and your children. We'll find out what kind of mother you were throughout the divorce process. I behaved honestly, but it's clear our daughters should live with me. I can't let them stay with someone who cheats and disrespects others like you. Jeremy, my friend, I strongly advise you to convince your mistress to sign this document before I leave. If she doesn't, I'll make sure all the evidence gets to your wife and your bosses. Once I'm done, your job will be at risk, and I'll try to convince your wife, Sarah, to end your relationship, causing you significant financial trouble for a long time. I really hope it doesn't come to that. So please, try to convince her to sign the divorce papers. Once this is done, you can continue your relationship with my future ex-wife. I have no desire to contact her ever again. My words made a strong impression on her because the thought that she would lose her daughters was an additional blow for her. Tears were rolling down her cheeks and panic was reflected on her boyfriend's face. Lily desperately begged me to stop and change my mind. She resorted to the usual cliches, offering typical excuses. Everything is not as it seems. Let me explain. I'll fix it. It was just a mistake. Please forgive me. With the last declaration of love, she said, Luciano, I adore you and I can't stand it. Give me another opportunity. Ignoring her entreaties, I got up from my seat and said, I'm going to the toilet, and when I come back, it's better to sign these documents. If you refuse, I assure you, you will not understand what chaos I will bring down on your lives. I left, leaving Lily in tears and her lover in disbelief. I knew that Jeremy would do his best to convince her to sign these papers and protect herself. In my absence, Jeremy acted quickly. Knowing full well that he could not risk his wife and work seeing these videos, he was determined to do everything possible to prevent the situation from developing. His goal was to convince Lily to put her signature on the divorce papers. Lilia, I suggest you sign the papers for now and then ask him to hold them temporarily. This will give you the opportunity to talk to him and try to convince him of your love. Promise to visit a therapist and do everything possible for reconciliation, but ask him to wait a week. This will be fair considering that you have been married for 15 years and made one mistake. This approach seems to us the best chance at the moment since he seems to be really serious. In addition, if he has these video and audio recordings, we can both have serious problems. I really don't want to get divorced, he exclaimed. Believe me, if you manage to make him wait, I'm sure you can save your marriage. Think about the kids. You don't want to lose them, right? Her eyes filled with tears again. After a short pause, I returned to the table and asked, Have you signed the documents? She looked at me with the saddest expression I've ever seen and replied, I'm asking for a week before making any final decisions. Can you consider letting me come home and give me this chance? After 15 years together, can I at least spend a week with our daughters and talk to them? Won't you give me that chance? I remained silent, studying her pleading look and thinking about her request. In the end, I gave up and answered, Even though you certainly deserve my anger for your actions and for the way you ruined our marriage for this man, I will give in and grant your request. You have the opportunity to return home, and I will give you a week of time before I hand over the necessary documents to my lawyer. During this period, you can stay in one of the guest bedrooms, but I ask you not to approach my personal sleeping places. Now please go and sign the papers so that I can finish my business here. With a quick movement, she put her signature on the documents and I carefully put them in the folder. Getting up from my seat and preparing to leave, I gently took her hand. A smile appeared on her face for a moment until she realized that I was taking off her wedding ring. I carefully removed the ring that symbolized our 15-year marriage. Taking the ring, I caught her eye and casually dropped it into her wine glass. The expression on her face gave me a feeling of satisfaction. When her tears started flowing again, a faint smile appeared on my lips. I realized that she was beginning to realize all the pain I had experienced. Turning to Jeremy, I said, Well, heartless man, she's all yours now. Do whatever you want with her. I'm leaving, but keep that in mind. Jeremy, you got into my life causing irreparable damage to our marriage and jeopardizing a lot of things, even how our children perceive their mother. Your fate is in my hands and I can determine your future. Don't underestimate me. Consider yourself lucky that I decided not to fulfill my original intentions towards you. This is not the end of our acquaintance, despicable person. Expect to hear from me in the near future. Is everything clear? Jeremy silently confirmed my words as I loomed over him. I wonder if they will want to continue their little entertainment when I'm no longer around. When I started to leave, Lily clung tightly to my hand and begged, Luciano, can I walk you home? I just want to be with you. Please. I instinctively pulled my hand away, reacting as if it had been burned, and answered sharply, Forget about it. I have no desire to meet a person with such insignificant behavior. You're just his toy for now. I'll see how you look when he's done with you. whether that's today or tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. You have a week. You disgust me, and I'm deeply ashamed that I was ever your husband. I admit I was being a jerk, but honestly, I didn't care. I thought I was doing a good job of holding back my jealousy and anger. I was proud of my ability to suppress all the rage inside me. I gave her a little time, a whole week. Now let's wait and see what happens. The next morning, I heard that she had returned home much later than usual. To her credit, she immediately headed to the guest room. Apparently, she realized that I was not in the mood for a calm conversation. The next morning, we met in the kitchen when I went downstairs to have a cup of coffee. Driven by a thirst for revenge, I maintained an impolite demeanor and casually remarked, "Good morning, my dear wife. How is my unfaithful partner doing today?" Her body reacted involuntarily. She visibly shuddered and lowered her eyes to the coffee. Then, in a desperate attempt to save our marriage, she uttered those banal words that all spouses who are caught cheating resort to. "Honey, we need to talk." But I reassured her, "Lily, there's no need to discuss this further. I am well aware of your actions. I am well aware of the duration of your infidelities. I know all the information you shared with him about our marriage and about me. I've personally seen you do things with him that you've never done with me. I've seen you dress spectacularly to get his attention. It became obvious to me that he has a higher level of suggestibility, as has been repeatedly stated in these videos. You deceived me, hid everything from me, betrayed my trust, and made me look stupid. I'm just amazed that you can be so naive. If I don't understand something, I'm ready to discuss it. But if not, then I have nothing to add. Who looks stupid in this situation is me, not you. I do not know why I allowed it. You gave me everything I wanted. No matter what you've heard in these videos, I love you unconditionally. It is important for me to understand that I never wanted to hurt you and did not want you to find out the truth," she managed to say through tears. "The problem is that you never wanted me to know. Lily, you wanted to hide it by continuing to cheat and meet your lover in secret behind my back. That's the real issue. I can forgive infidelity because we all make mistakes. But this wasn't an accident. You chose to hide and deceive, continuing to lie and keep this relationship a secret. Lily, I really love you. But as Tina Turner asks, what's love got to do with it? My trust is completely destroyed, and I'm starting to doubt I ever really knew who you are. How many other men were involved? How many times have you betrayed my trust by sleeping with your lover and returning to our bed? I am filled with complete disgust, to such an extent that it is difficult for me even to express my thoughts. The weight of my emotions is just suffocating." Tears were streaming down her face, and she finally understood the depth of my emotions and the scale of her actions. All her excuses disappeared. Only the recognition of her mistakes remained. I confess, and I am overwhelmed with a sense of self-blame. There was no one else, and I understand that no matter what I say, forgiveness for what I did may be unattainable. I desperately want to save our marriage. I am ready to do everything necessary to restore our relationship. I think therapy can help me, and maybe we can attend sessions together to solve my problems. Please don't leave me." After a short pause, I replied, "Lily, it's completely understandable that you want to get advice to work on yourself, and I will support you every step of the way. But I can't be in a relationship with a person who easily rejects me. Your actions and words have revealed your true feelings, and I cannot imagine living with a person who feels such emotions for me. I know that there are other women who would be happy to have a relationship with me. You were given a chance, but unfortunately, it eluded you. Take advantage of this week to be with our daughters and find a way to clarify your decision to leave them. I will not criticize you. But it's very important that you honestly tell them why you're leaving. Our divorce agreement gives you unlimited access to the girls whenever you wish, but they will mostly live with me. If you continue to act irresponsibly and negatively influence them, I will have to limit your visits. Please understand that I will treat you with more kindness than you probably deserve. I'm here to help you maintain a relationship with the girls. I have 2 important questions that need careful thought before you answer. First, why did you decide to risk everything for this? Second, was it really worth it?" The following Monday, I contacted Jeremy and arranged to meet for lunch on Wednesday. After he convinced me that meeting was a good idea, I expressed my disappointment to Jeremy about the damage he had done to my marriage and the serious consequences he had narrowly avoided. After that, I presented him with an alternative proposal. During our conversation over lunch, I emphasized the consequences of his actions, in particular, that his relationship with a married woman had a negative impact on many people. I expressed the hope that he would take responsibility and correct the situation. As one of the options, I suggested that he take responsibility for paying for the rent of Lily's apartment and car for the next 3 years. I am firmly convinced that he should feel some discomfort in connection with his actions, and I have carefully explained how this plan will be implemented. I will provide him with the necessary payment details to set up automatic transfers, and warned about what if. If something goes wrong, the punishment will be instant. Although I have decided to end my relationship with my unfaithful wife, I still care about her well-being and want her to be taken care of properly. Since he was the cause of this unfortunate circumstance, I consider it necessary that he fulfill my conditions. This agreement will help Lily get back on her feet after I remove her from my life. I don't care how they are fulfilled, but failure to fulfill the conditions will lead to serious consequences, including the loss of your job and the disclosure of your infidelity to his wife, Sarah. As an additional incentive, his life will be saved. All this is a direct consequence of his decision to have an affair with a married woman. People like them need to understand that their behavior has consequences. Instead of hurting families, why not look for relationships with single women? Jeremy's actions were truly shameful. I tried to treat Lily fairly, allowing her to spend time with the children and keep them in touch. But my respect and trust in her has never been restored. Jeremy continued to make monthly payments regularly, always mindful of the consequences that I had clearly outlined. Lily had difficulty giving satisfactory justifications for her actions. She admitted that her actions related to treason and lies did not bring her any real benefit and felt remorse for the decisions she made. But she could not determine the exact reasons for her behavior. Currently, she lives alone, deprived of a partner and the affection she once enjoyed. Although I could have completely destroyed her, but seeing her lose her family and my love was in itself retribution. Despite the fact that she sought help from psychologists, the question of the reasons for her actions remained unanswered. The closest answer she could give was a simple one. I can't explain how it happened. The problem had nothing to do with you or our marriage because I really loved you and found satisfaction in our intimate life and the life we built together. It was an irresistible attraction, something different and exciting. I made the mistake of being drawn to his attraction. Lily, if you were truly happy, why did you dress in revealing and seductive outfits for him? Why did you do things with him that you never did with me? Maybe if you had put that much effort into our relationship, we wouldn't be in this tough spot now. Saying it just happened isn't a real explanation. You consistently behave this way, purposefully dressing to catch his eye each time. Yet you claim to love me. I hope one day you can give me a sincere and honest explanation for your actions. I believe we all deserve to hear the truth so we can understand and move forward. It's been a whole year since the divorce. I haven't been able to get over Lily's betrayal all year. It was hard for my daughters to accept the truth their mother told them. And for Lily herself, going through our divorce has been even worse. She tried therapy with a psychologist, but it hasn't helped her yet. To cope with loneliness and pain, she turned to heavy drinking. I found her lying on the ground drunk several times, and I've had to take her home. I hope her struggle with alcoholism will end soon. Second story, my cheating girlfriend. So I was with my ex-partner for 3 years. She started acting distant over the last couple of months, but I thought it was because of her depression and struggles with the loss of her father. Father's Day came this year, and she booked a solo trip to Turkey. I found it odd, but she likes doing things alone and wanted a distraction from the day itself, so I supported her decision. On the first day there, she texted me throughout the day. She mentioned meeting a group of guys by the pool who invited her to hang out if she felt lonely. I wasn't happy about it and sarcastically thanked her. The next day, she didn't talk to me for 10 hours, which was unusual. I asked my friends for their thoughts, and they joked about her possibly cheating. I dismissed it, but it made me wonder. The next morning, she admitted she had met someone there. I was devastated. It hurt me deeply. I reacted emotionally, said hurtful things, and ended the relationship. She apologized and claimed it wasn't supposed to happen, but to me, it felt like cheating. It's been a month now, and we haven't talked. Mentally, I'm struggling a lot. I've been hitting the gym a lot to cope. I could use some advice on how to feel better about everything.